Question 5 on SAT homework test number 3 says, the description of how Lady Carlotta put the doctrine of non-interference into practice mainly serves to... So this question is referencing lines 14 through 15, so obviously we're going to go check those out. Always remember when they reference lines for you that it can be helpful to look at those lines, obviously, and then the lines before or after that, which can serve to bolster your confidence in the understanding of the context of the question. Now, we also want to keep in mind when we're reading this what the main point of this doctrine of non-interference is, this description of it, and see how it relates to our options. Before we even look at those, let's go to the line. So it says here, only once, starting here, only once had she put the doctrine of non-interference into practice when one of its most eloquent exponents had been besieged for nearly 3 hours in a small and extremely uncomfortable May tree by an angry boar pig, while Lady Carlotta, on the other side of the fence, had proceeded with the watercolor sketch she was engaged on and refused to interfere between the boar and its prisoner. Now, what a monster of a sentence. There is a lot to digest here. So we have this doctrine of non-interference, which, if we recall, is what her friends are telling her to do, her acquaintances are telling her to do with regards to distressed animals. They're telling her, please don't interfere because it is none of your business. They tell us here that only once had she actually not interfered. And they describe the situation in which a woman is besieged for nearly 3 hours by an angry boar pig, while Lady Carlotta is doing a watercolor sketch and she's chilling out. She's refusing to interfere between the boar and its prisoner. So somebody is trapped up a tree, desperately needs Lady Carlotta's help, and Lady Carlotta's working on her watercolor. So she's got her priorities in line here. Let's look at our options, see if we can learn something about Lady Carlotta. So choice A says, foreshadow her capacity for deception. I don't recall this doctrine ever coming up before. It certainly is speaking a bit towards her character, but we don't have any sort of foreshadowing her capacity for deception. She is deceitful later on, but I don't think we are foreshadowing her capacity for deception with these quotes. Illustrate the subtle cruelty in her nature. Cruelty? I mean, she's not being very helpful, but that's her prerogative. I wouldn't say she's being cruel with that scenario we just looked at. Choice C says, provide a humorous insight into her character. A lot of people object to this word humorous here. They don't find the humor in it. Fine. If we don't love humorous, let's leave that be and come back to it. Choice D says, explain a surprising change in her behavior. None of this is surprising. After you've read the passage and you see how Lady Carlotta conducts herself with other people, how she's impersonating someone, she's taking it to the extreme of going to this person's house and pretending to be the governess, none of this is surprising to us. Lady Carlotta is just doing whatever it is she wants to be doing. Can't be surprising. Now let's go think about this scenario in choice C a bit more. Provide a humorous insight into her character. Remember here in the passage, it says that her friends are more or less begging her as to the undesirability of interfering on behalf of a distressed animal, such interference being none of her business. Her friends are saying, you can't interfere here. It's not your business. Please leave it alone. And the one time she actually listens to her friends, somebody is trapped up a tree by an angry boar pig, which sounds very menacing, and Lady Carlotta refuses to help. So while you might not think it's hilarious, I think it is humorous, and it does give insight into her character, how she seems to do the opposite of whatever it is she should be doing. For that reason, I'm picking choice C.